A Karen at Starbucks demanded to speak with the CEO because her latte had foam on it, claiming foam was false advertising of liquid content. She calculated that foam took up 18% of her cup and demanded an 18% refund plus emotional damages. The barista explained that lattes traditionally have foam, but she insisted she'd been deceived by corporate coffee lies. She sat in the store for 2 hours calling corporate headquarters repeatedly. Security eventually removed her while she screamed about filing a class action lawsuit over fraudulent foam practices. At Target, a woman insisted that "the customer is always right" meant she could return a bikini she'd worn on vacation for 3 weeks. The suit was stained, faded, and reeked of chlorine and sunscreen. When told the return policy doesn't cover worn items, she screamed that policies are just suggestions, not actual rules. She demanded to see 9 different managers, each telling her the same thing. She finally left, threatening to contact the Better Business Bureau about discrimination against sun-damaged swimwear. A Karen called 911 because McDonald's forgot her extra pickles, genuinely believing this constituted an emergency requiring police intervention. The dispatcher tried explaining that missing condiments aren't crimes, but she insisted theft of promised pickles was fraud. 2 officers showed up and gave her a warning about misusing emergency services. She filed a complaint against the officers for not taking pickle theft seriously enough. She's now banned from calling 911 unless there's an actual emergency, which she claims violates her constitutional rights. In a parking lot, a woman blocked another car for 40 minutes because "I was here first" spiritually, even though they physically parked there. She'd been circling looking for spots and felt entitled to one someone else had already taken. When asked to move, she laid across the hood of her own car, refusing to budge. Mall security had to tow her vehicle while she screamed about parking space theft. She sued the mall, the security company, and the person who parked there, losing all 3 cases spectacularly. A Karen demanded a restaurant reseat everyone in the dining room because she deserved the best table and others should accommodate her arrival. She'd shown up without a reservation, expecting the prime window seat occupied by a family celebrating a birthday. When refused, she started unplugging other tables' phone chargers and moving their belongings. The manager banned her for life after she tried physically dragging a couple from their booth. She left a 2,000-word Yelp review about seating discrimination and anti-Karen prejudice in the restaurant industry. At the DMV, a woman insisted that waiting in line was beneath her and demanded to be served immediately upon arrival. She explained that her time was more valuable than everyone else's because she had a busy schedule. When told everyone waits their turn, she tried bribing employees with $5. She then attempted to create her own express line by standing at a closed window yelling for service. Security escorted her out, and she returned the next day with the same attitude, getting banned for a month. A Karen at the gym reported someone to management for breathing too loudly on the treadmill next to hers, demanding they control their respiratory rate. She claimed heavy breathing was a form of harassment designed to intimidate her workout. The gym explained that people breathe harder during exercise, but she wanted quiet breathing zones established. She measured decibel levels with her phone and presented a PowerPoint about breathing noise pollution. Membership revoked after she tried to enforce breathing citations on other members herself. In a grocery store, a woman demanded they open a closed register exclusively for her 2 items because waiting behind someone with a full cart was inhumane treatment. She argued that her shopping efficiency deserved priority over people who couldn't plan their purchases properly. When denied, she abandoned her items and stood at the closed register for an hour making a scene. Other shoppers filmed her tantrum, which went viral with 4 million views. She claimed the video violated her privacy and tried suing everyone who shared it online. A Karen called the fire department because her neighbor's Halloween decorations were too scary and constituted a public safety hazard. She insisted the plastic skeletons would traumatize children and demanded immediate removal by authorities. Firefighters explained they handle actual emergencies, not decoration disputes. She then called the mayor, city council, and local news stations about aggressive Halloween terrorism. Her neighbor added more decorations out of spite, and she spent $3,000 on a lawyer who told her she had no case. At a salon, a woman demanded a refund because her haircut didn't change her life like Instagram promised, claiming false advertising by the beauty industry. She'd seen transformation videos and expected a haircut to fix all her problems. When told haircuts don't solve personal issues, she accused the stylist of withholding the secret techniques. She refused to pay and tried leaving with wet hair and a cape still on. Police arrived and explained theft of services while she argued that disappointing haircuts should be free. A Karen blocked an ambulance because it didn't use its blinker when changing lanes, and she felt compelled to teach it proper driving etiquette. Paramedics were transporting a critical patient and begged her to move. She lectured them about traffic laws for 5 minutes while the ambulance sirens blared. Other drivers forced her car aside, and she got ticketed for obstruction. She countersued claiming the ambulance was the real traffic violator and lost spectacularly, plus paid court costs. In a library, a woman demanded they remove all books she personally found offensive, which was approximately 60% of the collection. Her criteria included books with sad endings, books about topics I don't like, and books with covers I find ugly. The librarian explained censorship and public library policies, but she insisted her tax dollars meant she controlled content. She started pulling books off shelves herself until security removed her. She's now banned and runs a blog about liberal library conspiracies, with 3 followers, all bots. A Karen at a hotel demanded a refund because the ocean was too loud at night, and management should have controlled marine noise levels. She'd booked an oceanfront room specifically for the view but couldn't handle the sound. When told oceans make noise naturally, she suggested soundproof walls or asking the ocean to quiet down. She called corporate headquarters at 3 a.m. demanding they relocate the ocean. She left a review warning others about the hotel's refusal to manage wildlife volume, and gave 1 star for acoustic incompetence. At a pet store, a woman tried returning a goldfish because it didn't love her back like her dog did, expecting full emotional reciprocation from a fish. She'd had the fish for 3 days and felt it wasn't appreciating her. When told fish don't show affection like mammals, she accused them of selling defective, emotionally unavailable pets. She demanded they test all fish for capacity to bond with humans before selling them. She left with the fish still, muttering about starting a support group for people with unloving aquatic pets. A Karen called the police on a kid's lemonade stand for operating without proper business permits and undercutting legitimate beverage vendors. She calculated their pounds pricing and claimed it violated fair trade practices. The police told her to leave children alone, but she insisted young entrepreneurs should follow the same rules as everyone else. She reported them to the health department, tax authorities, and tried getting their street shut down. The neighborhood rallied around the kids, raising $5,000 for their college fund while Karen became the local villain. At a movie theater, a woman demanded they pause the film for everyone because she needed a bathroom break and didn't want to miss anything. She expected 200 people to wait while she took her time. When refused, she tried bribing the projectionist with $20 to stop the movie. She then stood in front of the screen blocking everyone's view until security dragged her out. She disputed the refund denial, arguing that poor bladder accommodation was discrimination against people with small bladders. A Karen reported her neighbor to HOA for having too green of a lawn, claiming it made everyone else's yards look bad by comparison. She measured grass color with a Pantone chart and presented evidence of aggressive lawn superiority. The HOA laughed and ignored her complaint, so she mailed anonymous threatening letters about lawn envy. When caught, she claimed she was protecting property values from grass-based intimidation. Her own lawn died from neglect while she obsessed over her neighbor's maintenance routine. In a drive-thru, a woman ordered food, paid, received her order, then circled back claiming she never got it and demanding free replacement meals. Video footage showed her clearly receiving food, but she insisted the footage was doctored. She repeated this scam at 5 locations until corporate flagged her license plate. When confronted, she claimed it was an honest memory problem and tried suing for defamation. She lost the case and is now banned from the entire chain nationwide. A Karen reported a park to authorities because squirrels were acting aggressive by existing near her picnic, wanting wildlife removed from nature. She'd set up food and was angry that animals were attracted to it. When told that's how parks work, she demanded the city relocate all squirrels to squirrel-designated zones away from humans. She hired a lawyer to sue the park system for inadequate wildlife crowd control. The case was dismissed, and she now picnics indoors exclusively to avoid outdoor animal harassment. At a concert, a woman demanded a refund because the music was too loud at a rock concert, claiming sensory assault and false advertising. She'd bought tickets to a heavy metal show expecting chamber music volume. When told concerts are loud by nature, she produced a decibel reader showing unsafe levels. She tried to get the venue shut down for noise violations despite it being a permitted event. She now protests outside concerts with signs about acoustic violence and hands out earplugs to arriving guests who ignore her. A Karen called corporate because a teenage cashier didn't smile enough during checkout, demanding they be fired for emotional labor theft. She filmed the transaction and created a YouTube video analyzing the teen's facial expressions frame by frame. The company defended their employee, and she started a boycott campaign that nobody joined. She protested outside the store with signs about mandatory joy in retail for 3 weeks. The teen got a raise for dealing with her harassment professionally. In a coffee shop, a woman insisted her medium coffee in a large cup should cost medium price, not large price, arguing about cup-based pricing logic. She wanted extra room for cream but didn't want to pay for the larger vessel. When charged for the large cup, she accused them of container fraud and size-based discrimination. She paid in exact change, counted out 1 penny at a time in protest. She's been doing this daily for 8 months, and staff have learned to just ignore her elaborate payment performances. A Karen tried to use an expired coupon from 2015, insisting that expiration dates are just suggestions meant to scare customers into rushing. She'd kept a showbox of ancient coupons and expected them all honored. When declined, she lectured staff about waste and environmental responsibility of not accepting old paper. She demanded to see the coupon manufacturer to complain about planned obsolescence of discounts. She left threatening to contact the Coupon Industry Association, which doesn't exist because she made it up. At a vet clinic, a woman demanded they make her cat vegan, insisting meat eating was normalizing violence and teaching bad values to her pet. The vet explained cats are obligate carnivores and need meat to survive. She accused them of speciesism and refusing to respect lifestyle choices for all species. She found a different vet who humored her. The cat got severely ill, and she blamed weak feline constitution, not her forced diet. The original vet reported her for animal abuse, and the cat was rescued by family members. A Karen blocked a funeral procession because she was running late for brunch and dead people don't have schedules anymore, so they should wait. Mourners were horrified as she refused to pull over despite flags and lights. Police pulled her over and gave her a ticket for disrespecting a funeral procession. She argued that the deceased wouldn't care since they are dead anyway, and her mimosa reservation was time sensitive. She fought the ticket in court, represented herself, and the judge increased her fine for wasting everyone's time with terrible arguments. In a bookstore, a woman demanded they alphabetize fiction by author's first name instead of last name because that's how I remember people naturally. She insisted the entire store system was backwards and confusing. When told this is the universal library standard, she called it gatekeeping literature with arbitrary rules. She rearranged an entire shelf herself before staff stopped her. She's banned now but runs a blog about the tyranny of last name alphabetization that has somehow attracted 50 confused followers. A Karen called the mayor's office because her trash wasn't picked up on time, demanding the mayor personally apologize and empty her bins. She'd missed pickup day by putting trash out late but insisted this was the city's fault. When sanitation explained the schedule, she accused them of time-based discrimination against people who forget things. She showed up at City Hall with her garbage demanding immediate mayoral attention. Security removed her and her trash, and she's now required to have someone else manage her waste removal schedule. At a nail salon, a woman wanted a refund because her manicure didn't make her hands look like a celebrity's hands from magazines. She brought photos of airbrushed hand models expecting identical results. When told that's not how nail polish works, she accused them of false beauty promises and hand-based deception. She demanded they Photoshop her real hands or give her the model's hands surgically. She left horrible reviews claiming the salon refuses to deliver magazine-quality hand transformations and warning others about realistic expectations being discrimination.